All right, y'all, flexibility flow. This is going to really give you a deep stretch. We'll stay in the poses for a little bit longer. Something you can do after an intense strength training workout, or after a run, a bike ride, or just on a day that this is a standalone stretch session for you. So let's get started. We will start on our backs, lying in Supta Baddha Konasana. So reclined butterfly position. We want to bring the soles of our feet together and let the knees fall out to the side. So just reclining all the way down and taking a few moments here just to settle in. So maybe you take a block and you place it under each of your knees, if that feels better for you, to have the knees resting on the blocks. Or any other prop. You could use pillows. And just start to feel those inhales and exhales through your nose as you feel the belly fill up with air. And then release it out the nose. Draw your navel into your spine. Feel that low back flatten to the ground. And release the air out. So if you want to place those blocks, just whatever height is good for you, right underneath those knees. Palms can rest face up by your side or down, or stacked on your stomach. Just continue those inhales and exhales. It's about having continuous breath here, so there's no separation. The inhales and the exhales, they roll right into each other. Maybe you take this time to notice in your body, doing a scan, physical scan, an inventory of what's going on, maybe some spots that are extra tight on you right now. Maybe you want to just breathe a little relaxation right into that area. Try to focus on each breath and each moment, taking what you need in this next 30 to 40 minutes. And if something doesn't feel good, you just leave it out. On the next breath in, circle your arms out and up overhead behind you, biceps by the ears. Let the palms just come to touch, and then exhale, draw them through at heart center. Taking two more just like that. Inhale as you circle the arms up. Exhale, bring them through the heart. So one more time. Inhale and breath. And exhale. Removing any blocks that you may have, extend those legs out in front of you. Let's draw that left knee in towards our left shoulder, flexing the left foot. So we want to think about a 90-degree bend in this leg. Maybe you reach around to the back of that left thigh with both hands if you choose, and draw that knee down just a little bit more. So this is your half happy baby, keeping a strong flex in that left foot. You can also reach around for the outer blade of that left foot and pull down. You're pressing your foot into your hand here, and then you're pulling down with your hand, so it's active on both ends. Trying to keep your left hip grounded, and you're welcome to take a bend in that right leg if you choose, if it's more comfortable to place the sole of your right foot on the mat. Keep that strong flex in your left foot. Just a couple more breaths. Before you release it, draw that right foot in. So bending that right leg if it's not already there, placing the sole of the right foot on the mat. And then bringing that left foot above your right knee. Recline pigeon here. So really opening up that left hip. Flex in the left foot nice and strong. You can take your left hand and press it to that left thigh. Maybe you rock side to side here. You can also reach around the back of that right thigh and release your fingers and pull both knees in towards your chest. Keep a strong flex in that left foot. Try to keep your hip grounded here. Opening bringing up that left knee out to the side. You have the foot raised off the mat, go ahead and release it back down. You can keep your right leg right where it is. Left leg's going to stretch up nice and high. Start with a flex foot and interlace your fingers behind your left leg. And if your leg doesn't fully straighten, that's okay. Just get it as straight as you can, feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. We're going to start to point and flex, just making sure we're breathing, but at the same time, really pressing that left thigh into your hands. So you are pressing it in, feeling the hamstring engage, and then as you stay there, you point and you flex. Last one. Now bending that left leg, drawing the knee into the chest, reach your fingers around and interlace them just below your knee now, on your shin. As you draw that knee into your chest, you will feel that stretch in the front of the hip there. You can play around with taking your knee over towards your armpit or towards the center of your chest, just to shift where you feel that stretch. One more breath here. Extend that right leg out. Take your left knee with your right hand and roll it over to the right side of the room. Left arm's going to extend out for spinal twist. Now you can stay here with your gaze facing up, or you can glance over your left shoulder. Just try to keep your left shoulder down here. You can even extend that left leg out to the right side of the room, flex the toes, and maybe you take your right hand and grab a hold of those toes. Feeling that stretch along your left IT band now, and in that calf and hamstring. If you have a hold of the foot, go ahead and release it, and then slowly rolling back through center. Extending your left leg out this time. You can always keep it bent with the left foot on the floor if you choose. That's better for your back. Draw that right knee in towards your shoulder now. Reach around to the back of that thigh for half happy baby on the other side. Flexing that foot nice and strong. If that feels good, you want to do a little more, just reach around for that outer plate of that right foot. Keeping a strong flex here, we got a push and a pull with our hand and our foot. Rocking side to side is okay here. On that side, on that hip, or take stillness. And then sliding that left foot in, bending that left leg. If it's not already bent, take that right foot, place it above your left thigh. Right hand can press on your right knee, opening up that hip, and you move a little side to side here. And staying here if that's where you feel that stretch in that outer left hip. You can also reach around, keeping a flex in that right foot. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and draw the knees in. Now one side might be tighter than the other, so just always being aware of what your body's telling you. More breaths here in Recline Pigeon. And then carefully releasing that left foot down to the mat. You can extend the leg out straight as you lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, or you can keep that left leg bent. And lace your fingers behind that right thigh, remembering that it's okay if the right leg isn't fully straight. Start with a flex, press your thigh into those hands, feel that hamstring engage all along the back of that leg, and then point and flex as you're pressing that leg into your hands. So a little bit harder as you can. Last one. And then bending that right leg, drawing the knee into the chest. Interlace your fingers just below the knee here. Play around with maybe pulling that knee a little over towards your right shoulder, right armpit, and then maybe to the center of your chest. You'll feel that shift in those hip flexors. This is always a tight spot on me, and a lot of people can relate. Nice breaths here. Bending that left leg, drawing the foot in close to your glute if it's not already there. Take that right leg, cross it over to the left side of the room. Right arm extends out, spinal twist. Stay here, gazes upwards over that right shoulder. You can also extend that right leg, maybe gripping those toes. Just feel the shift there into that IT band, all up that right side. Release the foot if you have it, and then carefully rolling back through center. Taking your time as you sit up, you can roll to one side if that feels good for you, or just take a little roll up onto your tailbone, crossing the ankles. Will come into puppy pose here. You're welcome to use a block here to place under your forehead or under your chest if you choose, but you're trying to melt your chest down towards the mat. So as we come in the tabletop position, we want to stack our hips over those knees. So our booties are up in the air here. We're going to walk those hands forward, pressing into our fingertips. Bring our chin or our forehead to the mat and try to melt our chest down. Now, if this is a little too intense for your shoulders, even with a block or prop, you're welcome to take a soft bend in your arms, so maybe more of like a goalpost. And you can also sit those hips back all the way onto your heels and take more of a child's pose. Melting your chest down this way, big toes touching. So just taking what feels good. We've got about 5 more breaths here, stacking those hips, lowering the chest. Really feel that opening in the shoulders and the upper back. And at the end of your next round of breath, go ahead and rise up, walking those hands back in, and just bring them underneath your shoulders. So the knees are right underneath the hips here for just a few rounds of cat-cow. With an inhaling breath, let your belly dip, let your tailbone lift, pull your shoulders back. So draw those shoulders back, lift the collarbone. As you exhale, round and tuck your chin to chest. Let your gaze go through your inner thighs. Inhale as you take it back into cow, draw the shoulders back. And then exhale back into cat pose, really rounding in your upper back here. Taking one more round as you inhale, really pull those shoulders back. Feel that separation. And then exhale, round and tuck. There's the separation right there. Protract. All right, coming back to that neutral spine. For dynamic fire hydrants on the left side, so we'll bend that left leg and draw the heel up to our glute. And then just taking a few circles. You don't point the toe here. And then just circling it in the other direction. Stepping that left foot to the outside of your left hand. You want to turn your toes out about 45 degrees here, okay? Letting the knee go right over that ankle. Pressing the hips forward. And then maybe you stay here. Maybe you press with your left hand onto your thigh, opening up just a little bit more on that left side. You can reach your left hand around behind you to the small of your back, towards that right hip to open up that shoulder a little more. 2 more breaths. And then you're welcome to stay right where you are with both hands to the inside of that left foot, or you can come down onto your forearms and take a little twist with me. You can also take that twist up here from your hands, just walking your hands over towards that right side. You should feel that stretch all along your right side body. And if you come down to your forearms, you will do the same thing. You'll walk your forearms over to the right side off the right edge of your mat and find that twist. Keep your breaths nice and strong here. Last one in. Walking back up. However you were down there, rising up on your hands if you need to, and toe heel that left foot back in. So you're framing that left foot with both your hands. The right hand's going to plant to the inside of that left foot. Tuck your toes and press into the ball of that right foot. So we've got that right knee lifted, and let the left arm stretch up. So we're in a closed twist here. Left arm reaches around for that right hip crease and open up that left shoulder. Now maybe you just bring your left hand to your left hip, and that's enough for your shoulder here. So just doing what feels good. Let your gaze look up over that left shoulder, or just keep it down if that's better for your neck. Evolving that left hand down to frame your foot. Send your left leg high to the sky for three-legged down dog. So really pressing into your fingertips here, lifting the tailbone. As you exhale, draw the heel to butt on that left side and open up your left hip. Try to stack your left hip over the right without moving your left shoulder, keeping that left shoulder down in line with the right here. Squaring off the hips, send the left leg high. As you exhale, shift forward into high plank and let the left foot meet the right. So from that high plank position, take a big breath in. As you exhale, shift the hips back and shift them low, so the knees are hovering just above the ground. Inhale back to high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're down dog, lift the tailbone. Think about a nice flat back, maybe a soft bend in your knees is good here. Inhale, take it back into high plank. Exhale, shift the hips back and low. Think a child's pose, but the knees are hovered here. Inhale back to high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips one more time. Inhaling breath to that high plank. Exhale, shift the hips back and low. Inhale, high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Dropping down to those knees. Dynamic fire hydrants on the right. So tuck your right heel up to your glute and take a few circles in one direction here. Just start pulling it out. Opening up that hip. And then circle it in that other direction. When you get a few times each way, step that right foot to the outside of your right hand. Turn your toes out about 45 degrees. You can take that right hand to your right knee and open up just a little bit more here, looking over that right shoulder. Bring your right hand to your hip or loop it around to the small of your back. Bringing that right hand around, so both hands are to the inside now. As you find your twist, maybe you stay up on your hands and you walk them off to the left side of your mat. You feel that twist along your spine and the left and the right side body, or you come down to those forearms and you walk it out this way. Just breathe. One more breath. And then rising up, if you were down on those forearms, toe heeling that right foot back in. You want to press into the ball of your left foot now and lift that left kneecap up. Left hand plants to the inside of your right foot, right arm goes up for that closed twist. So taking whatever body here you choose, maybe you just bring that right hand behind you to your right hip, or all the way around to your left hip, opening up that shoulder. Let your gaze look up or keep it down if that's more comfortable for you. Evolving that right hand down with an inhaling breath, send the right leg high to the sky. Three-legged down dog. Bend the leg, flex the right foot, drop heel to butt, open up the hip here on the right side. So think about really stacking that right hip over the left. Arms are next to your ears, pressing into that index finger and that inner palm. Next breath in, square off your hips and the right leg high. Exhale, it's high plank. Right leg meets the left. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, shift the hips low, shifting back. Inhale, come into that high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. So maybe you drop to your knees first. Tuck the elbows into your sides. Cobra pose. Press into the fingertips. Press into the tops of the feet. Lift the crown of the head. Lift the chest. Breathe. Lower down. 2 more cobras. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. And let it go. Tuck the toes, press to tabletop. Hips are high. Downward facing dog. Inhaling breath, step your left foot through in between the hands. And And we're preparing for Virabhadrasana 2 here. The right toes are going to face the right side of the room. Right arm is going to circle up. Left arm is going to go forward. So we're in that warrior 2. The heels are aligned. Right foot is parallel with the back of the mat, and the left knee is over that ankle, really softening the shoulders here and keeping our fingertips nice and energized. Inhaling breath, bring the arms down behind our back and release the fingers, puff the chest, slight back bend. And as we exhale, find our humble warrior. So we're leaning that left shoulder down towards the top of our left thigh or towards the inside. Arms are going to stretch up and overhead as much as possible. Try to release the head and neck here and surrender down. Inhale as you lift halfway, let the crown of the head go forward, flat back, and then exhale, fold it down again. Inhale rises us all the way back up, arms stretch out, warrior 2. As we exhale, find side angle, left hand to the inside of that left foot. Right arm stretches up. Now right hand can come to your hip here, and right hand can reach around for that left hip crease. Maybe you take the full bind and you reach your left arm under and grabbing for those fingers, opening up that shoulder. 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then releasing that bind if you have it. Walking those hands down the long edge of your mat. So we're pivoting and turning to face the right side of the room for wide-legged forward fold. With an inhaling breath, lift halfway, have a flat back, crown of the head forward, and exhale, forward fold as you pour the weight into the balls of your feet. Let the crown of the head come towards the mat. So you want to feel that stretch in the hamstrings here. Inhaling breath lifts you up halfway. You can reach for the outer blades of your feet or keep your hands dangling on the mat. Exhale as you fold. Inhaling breath lifts you up halfway. Keep your hands on the mat, bend into that right leg. Skandasana. Left leg's going to flex. So maybe you only come to here with your right thigh parallel to the floor. That's okay. Or maybe you come all the way down. Left toes flex strong. You want to feel that stretch in that left inner thigh. Fingers can walk out in front of you. Just keep the shoulders done down and back. Nice neutral spine so we're not rounding here. Breathe. Next round of breath rises you up and take it over to that other side, Skandasana. On the left, this time the right foot is going to flex. So walk your hands off the mat here, away from you. Think down dog in your upper body. Next round of breath rises you up. Keep the feet parallel to the right side of the room. Right hand is going to plant, left arm is going to stretch up. As you exhale, release the left hand behind the right. Thread the needle, reach for the outer blade of your right foot. Now right hand can stay where it is on the mat as you pull with that left arm, bending into that left arm, feeling that stretch in the left side body, or the right arm can sweep up and behind, reaching for that left hip crease. Keep your gaze down or look up over that right shoulder. Nice bend here in that left arm, so you feel that bicep engaged and you feel your lat, that muscle in your back on the side. Next breath in, make sure the right hand is planting under your face again. Left arm stretches up one more time, and left arm comes down to meet the right. Let's do the other side. So left hand plants this time. Breathe in, right arm up, thread the needle, reach it behind the left, grabbing for the outer blade of your right foot, drawing your gaze over towards the left. Now really bend into that right arm here. Try not to lose my earpiece. And your left arm can stay down, or it can reach up and around for that right hip crease. But really feeling that stretch in the right side body now. Next breath in, make sure that left hand is down, planting under your face. Right arm stretches up one more time. And right hand comes down to meet the left. Toggling those feet a little bit closer together, turning the toes out for goddess pose. So as you rise up in a squat for goddess, you want to think about a nice flat back here. Knees right over the ankles, and just rest those hands right on your thighs here, okay? So as you're resting on those thighs, you're kind of pressing those knees out just a little, making sure they're running over the ankles. Draw the breath in, and as you exhale, lean that right shoulder over towards the left foot. Breathe in again, come up, and then take it to the other side. Left shoulder to the right foot. Breathe in, come up. Other side. Breathe in, come up. Other side. back to center. Straighten those legs and pivot and turn to face the front of the room. Left leg is in front. So you've got your feet separated about 2 to 3 feet. Right toes are going to face to about a 1 o'clock if we were facing a clock in the front here. So turned out just a little. Inhaling breath. As you exhale, you can bring hands to your hips or hands to the mat for pyramid pose. So we want to fold over that front leg. Now maybe you use blocks here. This is a great place for blocks. And keeping a soft micro bend in that front leg so you don't hyperextend. Think about a flat back. Think about pushing your tailbone, your butt towards the back wall behind you. Not rounding in that spine as you fold. Balance is good. Hands to the hips. You can take a few breaths here, maybe rising up with each inhale, lengthening the crown of the head forward, and then exhale, folding a little deeper. You can also make fists with your hands and take them behind your back. One breath here. And then releasing down. Dropping to, as you bend into that left leg, drop down to your right knee, finding your low lunge here. So low lunge, we're pressing the hip forward on that right side and drawing the left hip back a little bit. Right hand is going to plant to the inside, left arm is going to sweep up and behind. Drawing that right heel in towards your glute. Maybe you reach for that right foot and you grab a hold of it. If you grab a hold of that foot, just kick it into your hand, opening up that shoulder here and feeling that stretch in the front of your right leg. Release the foot if you have it. Inhaling breath, left hand comes back to frame front foot. As you exhale, sit back for your half splits. Flexing the left toes to your face. Nice flat back here. So make sure with each inhale you rise up, you find length, and with each exhale you keep that length as you fold. So don't round in that upper back. One more breath here. Let it go. Bending into that left foot, press into the ball of your right, send the left leg back. High plank. Exhaling breath, downward facing dog. With an inhaling breath, shift forward, step the right foot through in between the hands. It's Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 on this side. Bringing those arms up, left arm sweeps back, right arm sweeps forward. So lining up that right knee over the ankle, make sure we're pressing into both feet here. Equal distribution. Inhaling breath, the arms are going to come down to interlace behind us. Puff the chest, and as we exhale, find that humble warrior. So maybe that right shoulder comes to that right thigh or to the inside. Arms stretch up and overhead. Try to release the head and neck here. So not to hold on to any tension. As you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Next inhaling breath rises us up, back to warrior 2. Extend those arms out. Exhale, find side angle. Right hand to the inside of your right foot. Maybe you use a block here. Left arm stretches up. You can draw that left arm behind you for that half bind, reaching for your hip crease, or maybe you reach your right hand underneath and clasp the fingers, opening up. 3 breaths here. Let your gaze just stay where it's comfortable. Releasing the bind if you have it, turning the right foot to face the left side of the room in that wide-legged straddle again. Walk your hands forward, think a wide-legged downward dog here. Lift the hips, nice flat back, and melt the chest down. Think about lengthening the spine here. Inhale and exhale. Walking those hands back and turning back to face the front of the room and finding our pyramid pose here. Whatever is comfortable for you. Maybe you try a different variation with your hands. Switch to the hips. Each inhaling breath, you find that length. And each exhale, you fold down. Keeping a soft micro bend in that right leg. Think about drawing your right hip back just a little bit and tucking that left hip forward. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Removing any blocks, if you have them, as you bend into that right leg, slowly lower that left knee down. Let the left knee go a little bit behind your left hip here, top of the left foot on the mat. Left hand plants, right arm sweeps up. Maybe it sweeps back. Grabbing onto that left foot. If you tuck it into your glute, opening up that shoulder on that right side. So if you have a hold of the foot here, kick that foot into your hand. Release the grip of the foot if you have it. Let the right hand come down to frame that right foot. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, shift the hips back. It's half splits, flexing the right toes to your face. Again, drawing that right hip back just a little bit here. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. Last one. And bending back into that right leg. Let your right knee come back to the mat. Big toes touch and spread the knees wide for child's pose. So the big toes are going to touch top of the feet on the mat. As you shift the hips back, walk your hands forward and let your chest come down to the mat. Taking 5 breaths here in your child's pose. Pressing into your fingers, maybe you lift the forearms, maybe you lift the palms off the mat. Really feel that sensation in the upper back and shoulders. You can always use a pillow or bolster on the back of those calves if your hips struggle to settle on to your heels. 1 more breath here. And then carefully rising up. We'll come into a wide-legged straddle here. You can always sit on a block if that feels good to you, if you struggle with a forward fold. So you can place a little block underneath you're sitting on. And stretch the legs out wide, or just sit right down on your mat. Sitting up nice and tall, let's fold forward. So just walking those hands out, finding that flat back. Maybe you stay on your hands, or maybe you come down to those elbows, but just making sure that we're not rounding in the spine here excessively. So we want to draw the shoulders back, flexing the toes, and feeling that stretch in the inner thighs and hamstrings. More breaths here. Carefully rising up and walking back, removing any block that you might have underneath you. Staying in that wide-legged straddle. Arms are going to stretch out to the side. A little bit of movement here to the left, so just breathe into it. Shift to the right, shift to the left, to the right, and now let's hamstring stretch it over to the left side. So looping that right arm up and over. Pivoting so that our chest is hovering over that thigh. Now don't worry about how low you go. Keep that flat back. Maybe your hands don't reach your foot. Maybe you want to use a strap here. Loop it around. Maybe you want to just place your hands maybe next to your calf. Wherever you feel that stretch, keep a flex in both feet here. You can also, if you need a little bit deeper, place a block behind that foot. And you can reach for that. 2 more breaths. And then slowly coming back up, arms stretch out. Let's lean into the right this time. To the left, breathe into it. Feels good. To the right, to the left, I think that's a song. To the right, we fold. Left arm loops up and over. And remembering from side to side, our bodies are different from day to day too. So what you did last time when you stretched in these poses, it might have been different. And that's okay. So don't worry too much about, where you can go in these postures, but just giving yourself what you need in that moment. Most important. Last 2 breaths. And slowly coming back in. So we started in Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to start to finish up this flow today and come back to that Baddha Konasana. Seated this time though, so we can place those blocks underneath the knees. If we need to, draw the soles of the feet together. And try to sit up as tall as you can here. Maybe grabbing onto those feet, sitting it up, pressing those knees down. You feel a stretch in the inner thighs here as well as the outer thighs. You can take your elbows and rest them on those knees, press down a little more, and maybe fold forward. But again, just trying to keep that flat spine, not excessively rounding. Taking 3 more breaths. And at the bottom of that last exhale, go ahead and carefully rise back up. Remove any blocks that you have, and let's settle on down to our backs. Slowly and carefully, as always. When you get there, extend the legs out all the way. Let's take those feet and walk them towards the left side of our mat. So it's actually the top left edge of my mat, the way I'm laying down. I'm going to cross that right foot over the left. You can always keep the right foot just beside the left. And then without moving my hips, I'm going to just move my upper body to the left side as well. So this is kind of making me in the shape of a banana. My arms are going to stretch overhead. Unless that's not good for the shoulders, you can always leave them down by your sides. Or leave the left arm down, maybe circle that right arm up and around, whatever feels good. If both arms are back, you can grip your right wrist with your left hand and then draw it over just a little bit more. So you're finding that stretch on the right side body here. For 3 more breaths. At the bottom of that last exhale, release the grip if you have it. Walk your upper body back in. And walk the feet over to the right side this time, maybe crossing that left foot over the right. And then scoot the upper body off to the right side, finding that curve, that banana shape. Arms can stretch up and overhead, and the right hand can grab that left wrist, drawing it up and over, finding that side body stretch. Take 1 more breath in. And then releasing it out. Scooting back towards center. Maybe draw the knees into your chest. Bringing your upper body off the mat. Give yourself a nice little hug. And then extending everything out. Find a final resting place for you if you need that for a few more minutes, or if you feel good and relaxed and done. Go about whatever's on your to-do list and have a wonderful rest of your day. If you need to rest, you lie on your back and you take a few moments to breathe. Hopefully you feel a little more flexible. Hopefully you find a little more freedom and ease in your movements for the rest of the day and for your next workout. That's really what this flexibility flow is designed to do. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.